Hello, this is Jerry Jr. again. In my last video, I told you about when my book was first written and the information we put in there, and I was considered a, you name it, what I was called. A fictional storyteller was one of them. Okay, am I really? Well, I explained in this book that we mentioned quite a few characters, heavy hitters, that no one ever heard of. And I was told that I'm making them up. Okay, well, then in 2013, this book comes out called Mob Boss, The Story of Little Al DiArco by Jerry Capeci. Now what you'll learn over these videos is that my Uncle Paulie only dealt with the bosses. He didn't deal with the lower level guys. So only the bosses knew who he really was, and you'll see that. Whether you like Al DiArco or not, he was high enough up to know who Paulie was. Well, I'm going to show you this book on page 52 and 53, in case you haven't bought it. We're going to zoom in here, and you techies, whether you shoot a screenshot or pause it, whatever you do, I want you to see these two pages, and I'll read it to you quickly. Okay? We in on it? You zoomed in? Okay. Now, quickly as I can, I'm not reading anything without these. Okay, in New York, born in the city of Mangone in Calabria, Italy in 1894 of Albanian parents, Jimmy Alto was a swashbuckling battler as a young man. Part of his legend was that after arriving in the U.S., he made his way to the southwest where he joined the Mexican rebel army of Pancho Villa, who at one point had crossed the border into New Mexico. If so, he was in good company. And I'm going to skip down to where it gets important. Okay, high soldiering experiences gave him bragging rights few other mobsters could match. Mob big shots who would come by the cafe he owned to see him, Jimmy Alto would sit in the back and say in his heavy Italian accent, "Do they know him in Albuquerque? Let him wait." In New York, Alto joined a Masonic lodge where he forged close connections with politicians and judges. Crime-wise, he was allied with the family headed by Vito Genovese, but his association went back to Genovese's predecessor, Lucky Luciano, recognized as the founding father of the modern American Mafia. Luciano operated out of a social club a block away on Mulberry Street. From what Al could tell, Jimmy Alto answered to no other boss, and he didn't. He answered to no one, including Lucky Luciano. In the cafe's back room, Alto surrounded himself with a small group of close associates. There was Sammy Chillemi, a big man of few words. He was a big man. Vito Trupiano, considered a tough guy in a neighborhood filled with them. And Paul Della Universita, who helped Alto brainstorm his schemes. Al already knew Della Universita, who was known as Paulie Lefty. Paulie lived down the block from Vincent Scungili place with his wife Anna. She was friends with Dolores. They played bingo together at Transfiguration Church. Well, he lived above Vincent's, not down the block. But obviously, Jimmy Alto, Sammy Chillemi, these people exist. The difference being is, my book was published in 2008. Revised in 2012. This didn't come out until 2013. So I want to thank you, Mr. Capeci, for unknowingly validating my book. By the way, I know a lot more about Jimmy Alto and his crew and why they were able to operate and not answer to any of the 5 families and why law enforcement didn't know about them. And I'm probably the only person alive who actually has pictures of Jimmy Alto and Sammy Chillemi and those guys. I'm assuming you didn't have pictures of them, and that's why you don't have them in your book. But thank you again for the validation, sir.